Hi guys, Ben here for another Whiskey Geek review, and today I'm looking at a Glenrothes whiskey. This is the Select Reserve. Now, Glenrothes is another Edrington Group owned distillery, which means it's got a twisty cap. Sod. And it also means that they have a swathe of these weird no age statement expressions which are hard to keep track of and kind of hard to get on board with. You don't know where to start, you don't know what they mean. It's much of a muchness. But in a bit of a positive step, Glenrothes have decided to take a step away from the plethora of no age statements, and what they're calling this Solio range has been released. It's a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 15, 18, 25-year-old. There is still one no age statement in there, the Whiskey Maker's Cut I think it is, but at least as a one-off it's easy enough to figure out where it lies within the range, or just ignore it outright if you're so inclined. I have the 10 and the 12, I had a sample of them, a taste of them, and they convinced me to buy a bottle because it's decent stuff and at a sensible price point on that end of the scale. Unfortunately, it does make the Select Reserve and the Vintage Reserve that I have on the shelves a little bit redundant, but you can still find them. I wouldn't necessarily say it's worth going out and seeking them out over the 10 or the 12, but they are still available. So the one I'm specifically looking at today is the Select Reserve. It's a 43% no age statement. It's in this bomb bottle, I think they call them. It's a kind of a grenade shape. It does annoy me having that big hollow in the base of it, because although it looks like there's a decent amount of whiskey in there, most of it is actually air. So taking a quick look over the box, I can't see any mention of Mitfarbstoff, of colouring, but they do keep referring to this as a vintage whiskey. I don't know if it's just generic blurb on the box, but I can't find a date on it anywhere, so as far as I'm concerned it's just another no age statement. So taking a quick look at the colour of this one, I've got it down as a shade 8 Sauternes. It's quite a crisp gold. So going in to explore this nose, you're straight away greeted with a really nice spice and some cereal tones, quite warm. There is an oatiness, whole grain, it's very full cereal elements. There's a nuttiness, kind of touching on walnuts maybe, and tropical fruity citrus, maybe pineapples. A touch of honey, some ginger, and it's a bit grassy, fresh grass. So going in to explore the palate, it's quite gentle, fresh. There's a citrus element, vanilla quite prominent, still plenty of cereals, and a touch of the grass is still evident. There's a warming spice to it, a growing ginger and clove. A somewhat youthful woodiness, almost timid woodiness, and it's a touch floral, just a hint. The finish has a bitter bite which is tied into that citrus and the grassy tones. It's a touch sharp which lingers on, and I feel it wouldn't be quite as cloying or as evident if it was integrated with some of the spice or the cereals and kind of bolstered it, but it just feels a touch young. So I feel like this Select Reserve is not one that's going to be missed, really. I've rated it at 65%. It's a perfectly valid whiskey and it's enjoyable, so long as you don't interrogate it. It feels a bit young, it's got a reasonable spirit character. There's something specifically that Edrington are doing which I'm going to take a leap and say is the particular strains of barley that they're using, because it's got a similar character to Highland Park, a similar character to what I have enjoyed in Macallan's as well, but it's all in that cereal element, and if that was allowed to flourish more rather than being kind of smothered by what I'm going to say is tired casks, it would be really great. But as it stands, it's a simple one that is perfectly fine, but it's when you're in the mood to have a whiskey, not necessarily study a whiskey. So thanks for watching guys, hope you've enjoyed this little whiskey review. If you have, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Cheers!